Welcome. It's your man, Got the Dots, man. We are back here on a Friday. I know I changed the title, but it is another kick back before the kickoff. Where I like to kind of blend the sports in the real world and kind of bring you commentary and content of the sort. I'm not sure how long the show will be, but we'll flow. We'll flow. I'll just let it be what it's gonna be. Speak Greasy, what's going on? Yes, speak. This is I'm revisiting to a degree a topic that me and you discussed a couple weeks ago on a previous Friday show when we were talking about new school and old school, and I kind of wanted to put a little spin on it. This is kind of like, I don't know, it's how can I say this? It's almost like preordained. Ever since we've had that conversation on that previous show, if you missed it, go, hey, it's still up. Go check it out. Since we've had that conversation, I've seen more and more instances, and I've been involved in more and more conversations where it's kind of been a debate over, old school versus new school, whether it be with sports, whether it be with music, ways of life, and that kind of stuff. And I'll kind of get into that. And, hopefully you'll see where tonight's show is going. I came across a couple clips. Like I said, it's almost like preordained. It's like this kind of like drops into my lap because, I've been kind of, figuring out what I was going to do for tonight's show, but the clips kind of just fell into my lap, and it just like, voila, magic. Brother got a show. So yeah, I'm gonna start off with one clip. In the first clip, you're going to hear Cheryl Swoops, former WNBA player, WNBA legend, college basketball legend, one of the best female players that I'm gonna be honest in my lifetime that I have seen play basketball. She was on the show with Gilbert Arenas. Shout out to Gilbert Arenas, the podcast, and what he's got going on with that. I do have a small clip of that. Brother of a certain age was good, man. She was discussing Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark been talk of a lot of conversation for this season here. Her alongside Angel Reese, and the noise that they're making, the records that they're setting, and the numbers they're putting up, and how they're performing. It's been a lot of discussion, and it is it's helped kind of draw a little light to the WNBA. That they haven't seen in quite some time. Be honest with you, when we're talking about their presence on social media and being in the news cycle. But she has some commentary in regards to Caitlin Clark, and it's kind of gotten her into a little bit of a kerfuffle, I would say, to where people kind of question her, like why is the hate so strong? And once I get done with that clip and the other clip, and you'll get where I'm going with tonight's commentary and all of that kind of good stuff. But let me go ahead and get that queued up as we can kind of get that going. Fair use and all of that good stuff. Fair use. Let's go ahead and kind of get into it. Let's go.
If we had a number, if we would have said, when we're talking about dominating with Caitlin Clark, what would those numbers have? What was the numbers?
It would have been a scoring number.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right?
Because of high clip, shooting it.
Right,
so we'd have been like,
that's what she did.
You consider 20 points per game, so you don't consider 20 points per game.
So if her stats, when we're saying she won't do this in the W, she averaged 31.6, 7.4 rebounds, 9 assists, right? Did anyone expect her to do that in WNBA?
Those three? No.
Right? So she didn't do that.
No.
Now, if we say her stats are today, what?
20 points, 8.4 assists, 6 rebounds.
That's crazy.
But
That's crazy.
5.6
Those are
turnovers.
hell of a number.
Those are hell of a numbers.
rookie.
But to me, that's not
Period.
dominating.
Yeah, it's only not dominating because she's a rookie.
Now, if
No.
If she's putting up numbers like Asia right now, would she be dominating?
yes.
So it's about the numbers.
Yeah.
I don't look at the dominating factor being numbers. It's what you're doing on the floor. And those numbers would change if the factors on the floor changes. If you make that layup, the stats change. If you swing, I get a layup, stats change. These are factors on the floor that we don't get to see because we're glorifying the stat.
If we had
All right, let me kind of bring it back over here. Yeah, it's been a minute, man. Been a minute. But yeah, As you heard, Derek Gilbert Arenas, along with other members of his podcast crew, shout out to them for what they got going on. Sat down with the great Cheryl Swoops, and it's this a clip, but if you go back, if you want to go on YouTube and catch the entire thing, go ahead and catch it. And what Cheryl Swoops like, yeah, just that's not dominating. Those numbers are good. That's not dominating. And you had a lot of people from the new school way of thinking, saying, "Hey, why are you doing that? Why are you hating on what she's accomplished? It sounds like you're jealous because you didn't put up those kind of numbers." And when you look at Cheryl Swoops' career WNBA numbers, averages, and stuff like that, it's it's not nothing to really poke your chest out about. Is we're just breaking it down by the numbers. But anybody that thinks that Cheryl Swoops is not one of the greatest women's basketball players of all time is definitely not really in tune or aware of who she is and her impact on the game. I knew I was going to draw one person out with this. Well, hold on. Welcome to the show.
Yeah. Say, man, can you hear me, cuz?
Yeah, I hear you. What's going on, Speak Greasy?
Hey, man, I'm just saying, you got it cooking. Go on, do your thing, man.
Yeah. So, as a matter of fact, let me get rid of that clip because it is another clip. And like I said, I've been a part of this kind of conversation, in certain spaces for for a while, especially since me and you had that conversation a couple weeks ago in regards to that. If you haven't seen it, go ahead, go check it out, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Oh man, I got somebody else backstage. It's all right. Let me bring my other guests up. I shouldn't bring up. Hey, it's the corporate space. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, man?
All right, so while I get ready to set that other clip, and we'll kind of get into that a little bit into the later into the conversation. Reason why I wanted to kind of put the spin on it tonight for the kickback show is it really, when you really kind of break it down, is it really disrespect or is it hate coming from the new school in regards to the old school? And I want to say it like this, and I had to kind of step outside of myself in regards, because like I said, I've been having this conversation in regards to like sports and music and stuff like that. Then I started thinking about it. Is it really hate, or is the age difference? Is it a gap? Is it a misunderstanding? When we're talking about how great, when we're comparing greatness from between different eras, what do you guys think?
I think it's disrespect from the youngins to the old heads, clearly, and only because they get more bread than the old heads was getting, and that's because inflation happened. But them old heads is the guys who paved the way so you can get what you getting now by keeping the game popular.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think when we were younger, from everything from sports to our music, we got told about how either we couldn't survive or whatever we was doing was garbage compared to what they was doing. So it seems like it's always like a back and forth between between the older heads and the younger heads, and it keeps going. It didn't stop once we got older. We became the old grumpy heads talking about our heyday and what was going on. So I think it's a little bit of both.
All right, I hear you guys, but I said I had to kind of step out of myself because I'm from that generation. So a part of me wants to defend the old school as much as I can, but at the same time, when you're dealing with the younger generation, you got to understand it's sometimes it's a lack of understanding, but at the same time, I don't want to seem like I'm coming across as a hater when I say, hey, your era or whatever you do now is not better than what I grew up on or what I romanticize as being the best era, because I'm from that era. I don't want it to be misconstrued as hate. And a lot of times, when you have the old school and when they comment on the new school, it comes across as hate. Because I think it's from the generation side, it looks like it comes across as a lack of disrespect. Like you don't respect what I'm doing in this era now. You know, it's kind of weird, and it's kind of weird. And like I said, I wanted to kind of take it from sports. It's like, real life is, we're older. I can say that. How you doing, Ms. Murph Slander? What's going on? We're from the older generation, the 40 plus club. I can comfortably say that. Everybody on the panels is a part of that group. But a lot of times, you don't want to sound like your old man and your elders, and like damn, I do kind of sound like that. Like I'm come across a bit like a hater when I say, yeah, you guys, you didn't have it as tough as I did back in the day. We grew up harder than you did, and not really understanding the difference between age gaps and what their reality is now and what our reality was when we were young and at that age when we're talking to them. So is it really disrespect when you poo-poo what the new generation is doing? Is it really disrespect? And I'll be honest with you, sometimes it is. It is, because you find yourself indirectly or directly feeling like you have to defend your generation or your era, so to speak.
Well, we have to, because our parents put us on to Earth, Wind, and Fire, and to this day, it's still fire. It's not a lot of people making a lot of great things now because it's a microwave generation. Everything is 30 seconds. You get popping off a TikTok in 30 seconds. Like, your attention span is not the same as it used to be, because their creativity nowadays is not the way ours was. Everything is the same.
Is it really? I mean, but listen, like me and you had the conversation when we were talking about the NBA. Is it really? They don't, they're not capable of doing it, or they're just working within the confines of what it is now. Because when you really think about it, let's take the music. Like, you had to really be a musician. You had to be a rapper. You had to have, your penmanship. You had to put a lot more effort into it. And this is from our line of thinking, comparing it to now. But, when you look at it through the eyes of a young person now, it's so much harder to stand out. It's so much harder because like you said, the attention spans are short. How many people are really listening to full albums now? When you think about it.
Yeah, the attention span is trash. We know that. Let's call it what it is. If like, just to give an example, I was talking earlier. My oldest daughter is 31. Is she 31, 32? Well, anyway, she in her early 30s, and she never had to take a city bus. So there was one time where she had to go to she had jury duty. And she was like in her early 20s, and it was like, okay, just hop on the bus here, take it up there, and they get a transfer and take it. And like, she lost her mind. Like, what if I get lost? And I was just like, what did I raise? I raised a kid that's 20, getting her master's degree in social work, and she's afraid to take a city bus when that was part of our transportation. So like, and it's not her fault that I picked her up from school and I brought her to where she needed to go. And when they wanted to go to the mall, I dropped them off and picked them up. And then when she turned 16, I was like, here, take my truck. You ain't got to, I'm saying it's not her fault. So it's kind of like, it's double-edged where, yeah, they got it easier, but who's setting it up for them to get it easier?
I mean, but is it really getting it easier, or is it just different?
It is different, but let me say easier in my mind, because we had to walk uphill in the snow both ways. So she's got to eat.
See, now you sound like our parents, man. Like, oh yeah, you had a bus. We didn't have a bus. We had to walk.
We didn't
And
have
you-
we didn't have
Yeah.
boots. We had to put tennis rackets on our feet and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and you find indirectly you find yourself falling into that trap when you having that discussion when you're talking about new versus old. And you know, like I said, I've been part of this conversation for a minute. I was like, damn, am I really? Is it disrespect on my side? Because I'm always kind of indirectly defending my generation, the older generation. Is it really disrespectful? And when you hear bring it back to sports, when you hear like the Cheryl Swoops make those comments, and you hear Shaquille O'Neal making comments about Rudy Gobert, like, yeah, I talk trash, but you owe me because a guy like me made it possible for you to make the money that you're making now. Is it really defending your generation, or is it really this? Let's call it, is it hate? Is it hate? Really?
No, it's the truth, because an old head put a ball in your hand and told you to run as fast as you can and be as great as you can. Now, once you get to that greatness, you can't turn around and shit on the old heads who put the rock in your hand in the first place.
Yeah,
it had to come from somewhere.
But at the same time, that's kind of like hating, because I could say the same thing to you because you wasn't the first to do it. And I'm pretty sure if someone from a generation before you was saying the same stuff about you, you would feel a kind of way too. You kind of have to. It's a bit of hate when you say it like that, though. Speak. It's a bit of hate.
It is hate. I'm not hiding the hate. It's not my job to hide the hate, because it's true, and it's rightfully earned though. I earned the ability to hate on a young blood who don't know what we went through and don't want to hear about what we went through. We supposed to hate on them because they don't know.
And we understand now, when that when the ball used to go in so and so's yard, and it was like this whole process of who's gonna go and jump over the fence to get that football or that baseball or that tennis ball out their yard. And you like, it's just some grass, man. I just want to get the ball. We didn't understand that. Now we are yelling at people, telling them to get off our lawn, and telling the youngsters they got it easy. And actually, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. It feels good to be able to do it. So I mean, listen, I'm hating. I can't
believe I'm hearing this, though. Listen. I can't believe I'm hearing this from both of you. Like, yeah, we earned the right. Like you sound like haters. You sound like haters. Hey, time does not give you it's not a green easy pass to the disrespect. And I can start to understand the younger generation when we discuss things about them, and they can take it as disrespect, because at the end of the day, to them it is disrespect. Like, you can't really poo-poo on what I'm doing in my area, because hey, this is my area. I'm just working within the confines. Listen, I think it's even harder in today's society to do what some of these people are doing, man. Considering the level of scrutiny and stuff that they have to go through. I mean, let's take Bryce Young situation, getting benched. I mean, that might have been news in your local area, or if you was following sports. But I mean, this thing about the social media, everybody having a take on it, having an opinion on your. I think that kind of attention might have broke a lot of older players who wasn't used to that.
No way. You covering for these new jacks being so soft.
Is it being soft though, Speed? I mean, honestly, is it you're working within the confines of what you have now? It's like when we compare music, like our generation, we was having to defend rappers being considered musicians and being considered artists from those people who like that ain't no Earth, Wind and Fire, that ain't no James Brown, that ain't music. And like you don't not understanding, hey, this is what our era is. And that lack of understanding, it can be listed as it sounds like hate though, man.
It's not hate, because it's not, no doubt, it's not hate. And keep you got to keep defending that position. We need that. But it's not. I don't think it's hate, because we know and they don't. How about that? we know better. Like we've
But
lived through an
but what
era,
makes you
and
think
we're
we know
now
better?
living through their era. So we have something to compare it to, whereas they don't, because they
Yeah, but we
don't want to
didn't. We
go back
didn't.
and look at what we did.
We didn't grow up in that era. We see, it's easy for us because we're having to watch them grow up in the era, but we're not. We didn't grow up with some of the stuff that, I mean, think about it, man. Online bullying wasn't a thing when we was in school.
Yeah, you got it front and center.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
got
it was
you know,
in your face.
you got your
So,
bullying, your bullying
yeah,
when
I
you
mean,
step
and
outside.
imagine growing up in that environment where someone behind the keyboard was ruining your life at school, whereas we had to experience that on the bus or in the classroom. Like, it's easy for us to say, yeah, we had it harder, and but you don't really understand. I mean, I think it's that age gap, that difference, where it leads to a lot of misunderstanding when the new school strikes back and say, hey, don't poo-poo on what I'm doing, because what I'm doing for today's era is great. It may not be great to you based on whatever weird standards you have. Like, when I was listening to Cheryl Swoops talk about Caitlin Clark, like, Caitlin Clark has had an amazing season, and if you look at her numbers compared to Cheryl Swoops, it's comparable, but numbers, it's not to take a swipe at Cheryl Swoops, because in your era, numbers weren't that big of a deal. It was about winning. This era it's a little bit different. Like, what numbers you're putting up, what assist records and stuff. They celebrate that kind of stuff more in this era, and like I said, it leads to a lot of misunderstanding when you have the old school commenting on the new school. It leads to to a lot of hate, man, and that's how it comes across.
I think the old heads have a right to defend this in terms of sports, because it was the young ones talking about, we done with the 90s, they trash, and they started with us. That wasn't us saying we done with the 2000s. It was them picking out flawed footage saying we done with the 90s, and guys like Anthony Edwards saying Mike was the only one skilled, and stuff like that. We wasn't doing that. We called the garbage dudes garbage and the winners winners. These guys are just saying, nah, everybody was whack except him. That's a problem.
Really? I mean, but really, are we going to be really honest about it? Because we was doing it differently, but I could say our generation was hating on the previous generation.
No way, no, that wasn't us.
Yeah, that was when you
hating on. Who was you hating on, Doc?
I'm just saying, like, when I think about the best era, let's take basketball for instance. When I think the best era, I think about the generation I grew up watching, 80s, 90s basketball, early 2000s. That's like the golden era for me. When you talk to an old head, they'll tell you about the greatness. We talk about the greatness of Allen Iverson. They'll tell you about the greatness of a Tiny Archibald, and they'll have that same passion that we do when we defend our generation against these new cats. Like, you have to kind of think about, man.
Listen, I'm gonna say, when I was younger and I used to get on the basketball court and I saw somebody with gray hair, I was like, how dare he get but then
what you doing out here, old man? I gotta light you up. What you doing out here?
And I couldn't understand why he was giving me elbows and holding on to my shirt and all that stuff. I'm like, man, and fast forward when I'm guarding somebody and they be like, yo, look who I got on me, yo. You got, what I'm saying? Now I'm that guy. I'm the mouse in the house now, not because of my size, but because they know I can't jump through the roof anymore. I can't, I'm a little bit off on that cutting off the lane to get that pass. I see it. You know what I'm saying?
I don't move that quick like they used to. I get it.
I'm looking at him like, yo, he gonna throw this shit, and I'm stealing this, and I'm going down, and I'm dunking, and you just
in your mind,
in
your mind.
And what happens is a lot of cursing instead of, but I definitely was one of them ones when I was younger that, because we could relate it to like hip hop music and stuff like that. Yeah. Like, the stuff that was going on when I first got into hip hop, and then you transition into, like, for me, like KRS-One and Big Daddy Kane, compared to what Busy Bee and all them guys. I was like, what, y'all can't even compare to what they doing now. And then continue on. Now, I'm not gonna say that they got better lyrically, because that's, me personally.
I'm with you there. I ain't going to say that.
But for the time, we looked at but if you ask these younger kids, like my daughter, I got a 16-year-old, and I had to get into XXX Tentacion and all them people, because that's what she was listening to. And I didn't understand it, but I had to get into it, and I'm careful not to be like, it's garbage, because this is what she's listening to, and I got to be tapped into all of that stuff. So it's important that I, shit on her music, but it's also important that I say it's done with love. I'm not shitting on it because I don't think it means something to you. It's just trash.
Yeah, but see, to you is being done with love, but at the same time, for you gotta look it through the eyes of that generation, man. When we're talking about, you ain't like us, you're not as good as we were, you're not, lyrically, you're not better than us, musically, you're not better than us. Listen, we had that same discussion with our old folks, our parents, when we was defending our generation. When they was telling me about George Gervins and the Tiny Archibalds, and hey, we got the Dominiques and the Michael Jordans. Brothers ain't finger rolling. We, windmilling now. Like you find yourself falling into that trap of where you having to defend, indirectly. And that's why I say indirectly, because a part of you feels like you defending yourself when you defending your generation and what you into and what you grew up on. You find yourself being a little bit more forceful with your opinion. You have like the speakeasies, talking trash to the young folks, with a little bit more aggression. You know what I'm saying? With a little bit more aggression, when it's like, nah, Anthony Edwards, he ain't done nothing. Like, he puts a little sauce on it, because like, yeah, you understand. Hey, for today's game, he's a great young player, but like, nah, you took a shot, so I got to throw a little more sauce on it. Like, you find yourself falling into that trap indirectly, putting more on it than you have to. And I can understand why younger generation look at me like, damn, why is this old man hating? why he can't just be like, celebrate what I'm doing? And you have to put yourself in their shoes, man. I'm just saying.
No, it's the old saying, always going to stand true. They don't make them like they used to. And that's because things always get cheaper and easier as you go on.
Is it easier?
Saying, well, easier. What's not easier today?
Well, I mean, but let's say it like this. It's I would say it's different. I wouldn't say easier, but I'll say it's different. Like when we're talking about breaking into, let's say breaking into media. It used to be you had to be go to broadcasting school. You had to, cut your teeth at the local network and that kind of stuff before you found yourself being an anchor on anybody's TV show. Now, all you need is a StreamYard and a microphone.
Easier.
Yeah.
Well, it's not necessarily easier, because when you look at the market, because I don't have to go through those steps anymore. Now the competition, for me, I look at it like this: the competition level is higher because, that process that we talk about, moving up through the ranks and all that kind of stuff, that weeded a lot of people out. Now you don't even have that, so it's harder now to stand out to where your voice can be heard above the masses. Whereas, during that era, you got weeded out. Now anybody can call themselves, this is the Boo Boo the Fool podcast, and you got the right format, the right story, you become hot, and you're having to compete with other people who don't have, who didn't get weeded out. So is it easier?
Definitely, because again,
I disagree.
You don't have to put the work in that others had to. Yeah, I mean, like now you can sell 1 million records and be the hottest dude on earth and never did one show, all off the internet. Whereas back in the day, you had to sell them hard copies. You had to hit those open mic nights to be seen and go around from city to city and prove your worth. Now you just go online, go live, and they're like, oh yeah, he the hottest ever. Like how? Like what's different about him? Nothing.
Okay, well let me bring it back to what you was talking about earlier. Like, it's easier to do it now. Like, I don't have to have a street team now, but now I have to compete in the social media space where the landscape is larger. It's more spread out. Back then, you had to blow up locally before you blew up regionally or blew up nationally. Now everything is international now. Like, you're competing with so many different people in this. You talked about the attention spans. Cats ain't listening to full mixtapes no more. They looking for a catchy hook, catchy something. This is the TikTok era. You got 30 seconds. That's your demo tape. I'm just saying it's not necessarily harder. I just look at it as being different. It's not necessarily easier. It's different. That's all.
Yeah, so it's different, and I would say it's a little bit easier because those things wouldn't necessarily translate into monetary opportunities. So, like, if you had like you would have had to put together like a tape of even with college, you used to have to put together like a videotape of a VHS of your highlights and send it to a college, and where now you can put it on the internet, and right away everybody can have access to it, and they can ask those questions about you and find out who's number 44, so it's you still have to do the work, you still have to be good at what you're doing, you still have to show and prove, but to get so easier to get eyes on it, not necessarily easier to get through that door, because you still got to show and prove. But I feel like it's definitely easier to get eyes on you, because you can so you doing this channel, right? But you can do a short that has really nothing to do with what you're actually doing and get a bunch of eyes on your channel, get 1 million potential eyes on your channel, that and it may not translate into
everybody else. Yeah, everybody else has that same. I'm sorry, but everybody else has that same opportunity now. Like, I see Ms. Murphy, and she says, technology made it easier to access resources. Yes, it has made it easier to access resources, but it has also widened the field of people who have access to this resource. Because you're talking about making a VHS tape, to send to colleges for your highlights and stuff. Now, you're having to compete with the 12th man on the benches who's uploading the Ben Simmons workout video, and you thinking he's the next big thing on a yearly basis. You know how Ben Simmons, the mixtape comes out every summer, like it's going to be his year. You competing with those guys also. So resources are more easily available, but I think with the pool being larger, I wouldn't call it easier, man. I think it's just different, and I think we don't really understand what that pool kind of looks like. The pool is a much more bigger ocean now than it used to be. That's all I'm saying. But older folks, man, hey, it comes across like hate to the young folks, man. It comes across like hate.
Any criticism to a young person is hate. Any, be like, hey, young man, you went 4 for 5, but you would have went 5 for 5. You'd have kept your elbow tucked. Oh man, you just hating. Ain't nobody gonna make everything. Like, what are you doing, young fella? I'm trying to help you, and you taking it as hate. This is constructive. So, but that's the don't offend me attitude that everybody has adopted nowadays, because everybody wants shit easy.
But is it easy though, Speed? Is it easy? I mean,
Definitely
when you really kind of, I got to take the opposite position just because for the sake of the show. I got
no, you're good. You're good. Keep fighting.
I'm gonna keep swinging, but it's not necessary. I'm looking at it from a younger generation, younger mindset. Like, to them is hate because a part of you told him you would have went 5 for 5. Well, why not respect the fact that I went 4 for 5? Put more emphasis on that instead of what I didn't do, or what you believe I can't. Celebrate what I can do.
Because if you only telling me what I do great, how can I get better? I'm gonna just keep going out there doing the same thing, and when I realize that it's not working against this person, and I gotta do something else, then you ain't gonna know that unless somebody says, "Hey, man, you always have to work on your weaknesses. Which you do well, it's nice, but you gotta do something else too."
I mean, but at the same time, like I could look at it as being hate. Like, you may tell me, listen. You may tell me, hey, young blood, you might want to work on your defense, man. You got the potential to be like a Bruce Bowen type defender. And I'm looking at you like the old head, like, yeah, that sounds good in theory, but I'm working within the constraints of what's going on now. So I don't have to be that. It comes across as hate, man. Like, damn, why is this old man telling me something that I'm capable of doing, but I don't necessarily need to do in today's time? Like, I'm these, like, let's say these comedians, like I can make money doing shorts and clips from my cell phone. Why do I need to have a stage show? And here you come, old head, speak easy to my man. You gotta work on your jokes and your set, man. You gotta well, nigga, why are you poo-pooing on what I'm doing? Because it's not what you grew up doing or what you experienced. Why are you hating on what I'm doing now? Like, this is working for me now. This is what the now is. Sit your old ass down and let me make my money doing my little Facebook video. Like,
listen. First of all, I need you to look at my headline under the brother. You need to look that up. Look at that first. What that say there? Under my name?
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
I'm a hater 1.0. Let me just say that first. But second of all, listen, it is different. And anybody, the people that had it in their mind a little bit harder than the generation after them, we always gonna have a little bit of that, like, man, you ain't hate, because that's called what it is, man. Yeah, you didn't have to do what I had to do. You ain't have to, what I'm saying? So it's always gonna be a little bit of that. But again, like I said, if it's done with love, if it's done constructively, if it's done like that, then you can possibly pass it off. But when I was growing up and I got the little high top and I got my earrings in both my ears, my mother said, did you look like the last of the Mohicans, and you got both your ears pierced? And then she called me the F word because I got both my ears pierced. So it's like,
oh shit.
Yeah. And you gonna go out there looking like that and get that stupid haircut, and you got both your ears pierced, and it was just like. And then when I look back at some of the people who she listened to, the music that she just conveniently forgot what they look like, and I guess a long flowing Jerry curl with them guys flinging their hair through their ears and looking whatever, and some of the clothes and the outfits, that was all forgotten because that was partial to the way she grew up. And it's just a little bit of, it's a little bit of hate. She didn't. Thank you. She loved me, but it was a little bit of hate, and I'm okay. I'm okay with that.
I got one of you to come out and admit it. I'm trying to get the other one to, come on over to that side of thing, because it's some hate speak. Let's keep it a buck, man. When you. It's a little bit of hate. Listen, it's a little bit of hate, and I think some of it comes from, like, you didn't have to go through what we went through, and you didn't understand what the struggle was for us. I just look at it like this: I can respect my generation without having to disrespect yours, and I just kind of like, yeah, you're doing your thing. I mean, I don't understand it. But I can respect that you're doing your thing, because I don't want to get into an apples and oranges, because then I come across as hating, because I'm going to be disrespectful when I get to talking about my generation, because that's where I come from. and I understand that. But go ahead. I know Speaker's not going to admit it, but it's a lot of hate. He's that old man, and he's embraced that role.
I don't think it's hate. I'm telling y'all, I don't think it's hate because number one, ain't nothing for us to hate on. Like we will run circles around these youngins. If the internet turns off tomorrow, they wouldn't know what to do, where to go, up from down, what time it is, or none of that. We could put a sundial on the floor and tell you what time it is. They wouldn't know none of that without the Google internet. So it's not hate. We just keeping it a beam with them. We can't let what we know be lost to what they got because it ain't much to it.
You make a good point there. Speak. Do you think that's what kind of drives some of that conversation in regards to sports? Is the Shaquille O'Neals and the Cheryl Swoops and that older generation feeling like they might get left behind, they might get forgotten if they don't speak out and kind of like remind people. Unfortunately, you had to force that conversation. Like, don't forget what I've accomplished. Don't forget what my generation has done. It's damn. Can I say this? Is our generation become thirsty for attention?
No, well, Cheryl Swoops was tough. Like, let's put that straight. Like, Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
If Caitlin Clark would have saw Cheryl Swoops in her day, she would have got 50 dropped on her with no hesitation. Cheryl Swoops was tough.
I would agree.
I've seen her drop 50 before. Like she's really good. So it coming from her, like somebody at her level is like, yo, I've been there, done that. I'm like that. If I had the chance to do it against these people, y'all would see that. But Cheryl Swoops already did it. She was like the Michael Jordan of girls basketball, right? So what she's talking about is like how hard she had to work to do what it was that she was doing. And other people not working that hard and they getting a ton of praise for putting in half the work.
But I think it's just a generational gap, man. I don't think it's here's the I never really hear the new school outside of Anthony Edwards, of course. I don't really hear the new school initiating that conversation when we're talking about comparing eras and who was great and what measure of greatness is. I always hear the old school in initiating that conversation. Why is that?
Because the new school started it with the we done with the 90s. They started picking on us. We were fine with saying this young kid's great. We love it. We like it. It was them saying, yeah, we better than the dream team and whoop whoop and all that. Like, no. They were scared of us. Now they not scared of us. It's a difference.
But I still feel the old school initiates it a lot of times. What's wrong with the new generation saying, hey, we feel like we're better than the older generation?
Nothing. But you got to have guys that can back it up. You can't say your car faster than mine and mine can do $120 and yours only do 85. You got to prove.
But what if your car does $120, I can do $120, but I can get there faster than you.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm saying like
you would have to argue that.
Yeah, but like I said, I always feel like the old school kind of initiate like Shaq going at the like Gobert. Like, yeah, the reason why you making $200-something million now is because a guy like me, set the table for you. Well, in the same token, it's the generation before you and it's always like the old school initiating that conversation to me.
Yeah, but like somebody like you have to be of Shaq's ilk to be able to even sniff those kind of comments or conversations. Like you can't, like no knock, but you can't be like Kwame Brown going in on Gobert. You got to be
right.
You got to be like one of those guys who, because let's like Shaq. Like there was nothing you could do with Shaq when he was in shape and he was on his shit. There was nothing you could do with him. So for him, watching somebody like Rudy Gobert, who, even though you can say is Shaq's thing, like with the Shaq and the Fool and stuff like that, when you see Gobert not able to score around the basket or not just dunking on people if he has the opportunity, no real notable post moves. Like when Shaq was young and in shape, there was not much you could do with him. So he's gonna look at, and I guess Rudy Bear is the target because he's winning Defensive Player of the Year, and so Shaq is probably, comparing him to him. But the center position is not, there's no Ewing, Olajuwon, not even like a Theo Ratliff or a Mutombo. Like there's nothing like that going on to even, kind of go up against Gobert. So I think Shaq is probably, looking at it like, what he had to go up against Alonzo Mourning, like stuff like that. There's nobody out there for Gobert. So Gobert averaging, what is he averaging? Like 10 and 10 or something like that. Or so he's probably looking at Gobert saying like, this dude should be killing because there's nobody down there. But, it has to be somebody like Shaq because we don't pay attention to people we don't pay attention to anybody but the Hall of Famers really when it comes to them criticizing or right now, Gilbert Arenas. He's the one that really gets everybody's ear when it comes to some of these conversations.
Yeah.
But we not
He'll
really
be starting shit.
Yeah, but we're not really, and he falls like in the middle because the era he played in, wasn't the, Knicks Pistons 90s, but it wasn't this era now where, spreading the floor and 3-pointers and stuff like that is the main thing. He was kind of in that era where it started to get ushered in. So he does start a lot of shit though.
Yeah, they showed the clip of him getting fried by John Stockton at 39. And I was like, wow, Gilbert, that was an old Stockton giving you the business and you out here running your mouth.
Running his mouth.
And this was John Stockton of all people.
Was it 6'1", $160?
Yeah. Giving him the business.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I want to go back to a point Speak made, and you kind of followed it up, brother. Like, what qualifies you to be able to say, I'm qualified? What puts you? What credentials would you say? Because you said you can't be Kwame Brown making those kind of statements. Shaq, I get Hall of Fame status. I get. So are we kind of cutting? That's like the cutoff line because there's a lot of great players who didn't make the Hall of Fame. Are we? What's the criteria to say, you qualified to speak, and your opinion actually matters when we're having these kind of discussions? What's the cutoff for that?
Yeah, top 50, top 75 guys who have done it at a high level, impact guys, Hall of Famers. Like Shaq, unstoppable. Wasn't nobody. If young Shaq stepped in this league, they'd be like, it ain't no problem with having a big center because you would be winning with him on your team.
Yeah.
Okay, well let's kind of transition to the music because it got me to thinking while I'm over here, and we're talking about old school judging the new school. Would the opinion of a Spliff Star or Flavor Flav hold as much weight? Should it hold as much weight? Because let's be honest, they're not lyricists. They're not considered legends. Would it come with it? Would you label them a hater if they was to say this generation of music is trash?
I wouldn't necessarily label them a hater. I would have to listen to the opinion. Like, even if it's so like, I'm gonna come back to the hip hop, but even like with the basketball, if you're talking about somebody that either is borderline or somebody that that's in the league, they got even if they didn't make like the Hall of Fame,
Kwame Brown made the league. And
right,
you guys are poo-pooed on him.
No, I'm saying you gotta hear what they're saying. I'm not just gonna just be like, okay, he can't speak, because they actually were in the locker room. They were in these practices. They got to see these matchups. They got to see like Kobe going against the rest of the team or what have you. So there is some credence to what they're saying, because the worst guy on the bench in the league is still one of the best basketball players in the world. So so like Split Star to get to be around Busta Rhymes, and what was the other name you said?
Flavor Flav.
Flip, like to be around Chuck D and to see those things. Like, yeah, they're gonna have they're gonna have a they'll have a word they can say to me, like I can listen to them, but it depends on exactly what they're talking about. Like Flav, if he's gonna compare somebody to himself, no, he has to. What he's comparing people to, it has to be, if it's going to be lyricists. But entertainment wise, if he's going to say this is how you got to be to entertain the crowd, then yeah, I'll listen to Flav for sure.
Now we're gonna sit here and we're talking about you're not really gonna respect the opinion of the 12th man on the bench. Let's stop that. We not looking for Brian Scalabrine. We not. Come on, fellas. We gonna look at him sideways, like you was a scrub. We gonna look at him as a scrub from his era, because that's how they would look at.
Right, but what I'm saying is, I'm not gonna. So the credence will go to the HOFs, right, first.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
and then
that we agree on. Okay,
right, but then the guys who actually were there, who could witness, like there are guys that was in practice, they got to see. Like I said, Kobe going against
the equipment manager was there. I mean, come on, brother, come on.
Yeah, so they can maybe tell you, and depending on what they're saying, but no, I'm gonna give the HOF the credence first, and the lyricists. Hip hop is so diverse that, So, like I said, Flav could tell you how to entertain a crowd, but he may not be able to tell you. I may not put all my vote of confidence in him if it comes to lyricists. You know what I'm saying? So he may be able to tell you how to, because Flav can entertain the crowd. He was one of the who, other than him and Split Star, who are the hype men in hip hop that you can name right off the top of your head? I'm
like them the only two that jumped out at me. I mean, but yeah, like I said, Hall of Fame. I think we can all agree. If you got a jacket, if you're busted somewhere in somebody's hall, your opinion matters. I'm just like, hey, the 12th man dude, like, come on, man, like. Honestly, like, we just poo-pooed Kwame Brown. Like, yeah, you made the league. You was number one pick. But I don't think anybody's looking at you like as your resume. Let's say this. Your resume doesn't help your argument.
Right. And I agree with you. I'm tiptoeing the line. I agree. I'm just trying to,
But Kwame Brown was with Mike, with the Kobe's. Yeah, I mean, in the league during the time of LeBron. So he's seen these guys play, and he could tell you from firsthand experience what type time greatness was on. So even though he wasn't one of the greats, he was right there. Like, he's seen him in practice. He's seen him when the cameras wasn't on. So you could take what Kwame Brown says and say, you know what? He know what he talking about.
I respect an assistant coach or an equipment manager's opinion.
Yeah, so you just gonna kill Kwame?
I'm like, you talk about stuff that, like, off the camera, man. He was there when he was pushing weights in the gym. Like, well, shit. Let me talk to the strength coach. Let me talk to the trainer. Like, his opinion matters just as much, if that's what we're going off of. Stop.
Listen, I was about to say good guys win again until your rebuttal. Let me do
No, wait a minute. I'm not done. He was there, right? Like, he was on the bench. He was a starter for a good while. Like, they were trying to throw him into the starting lineup. And like I said, in practice, like, what these guys would tell me, they would tell me I ain't shit. How hard they would work, as opposed to what's happening now. You could take what Kwame Brown says and say, you know what? Yeah, he was there. He played for like 11 years.
Yeah.
So he can't be that bad.
I mean, but speak. Come on, like, listen to what. Look how you building your argument. Like, yeah, Kwame Brown saying, yeah, you couldn't hold a candle to a Kobe Bryant, and like, like, and you're having that conversation with a guy who's an all-star in the MVP comment. Like, yeah, you ain't on that level. Like, why? Because you was there behind the scenes when he was busting your ass in practice. So
He was behind the scenes.
So you assume I'm gonna get like nah. I think honestly, your resume, if you're gonna be in those discussions like a Cheryl Swoops, perfect. Hey, your resume, it holds weight. If you was just somebody that was just like a Brian Scalabrine, Kwame Brown, you talking about, yeah, you're not as great as such. Like, who is you? Like that's how if I'm a new dude, I'm like, who is you?
Now that's hate though. That's hate. That's pure hate right there.
No, but you just making an argument
hate.
about I was there in practice, and you don't know how long Kobe was in the sauna. You guys don't understand. Like, come on, man. That's the argument you was just making. We not doing that. We not doing that. We not doing that.
So all right. Oh, so now nobody who played unless you was a Hall of Famer and winner can say anything to these young boys who ain't won shit yet.
Yeah. I think
wow.
You have to listen. We gotta have some standards, man. We gotta have some standards because I can't take you serious, man. If your career averages is 3 points a game, 3 boards, and you got the nerve to critique what I'm doing, and I'm putting up, triple double numbers. And like, what are we talking about? We're not even the same ballpark. You can't talk to me. Now a guy that's done what I'm doing or done it at a higher level than me, that holds weight. But like, no, you can't come to you come across more of a hater than anything. You can't do what I'm doing now.
But where the old heads get their little lick back is the rules. So that's what if you see, that's what they'll always go to. They'll go to the hand checking rules and the defense, the illegal defense rules. So
talking to you, speak.
That's what they'll go to. But I understand what you're saying. But for the conversation though, we gotta somebody gotta play devil's advocate, and we gotta have a cutoff, brother. You gotta have a cutoff. Like, I can, I hear you when they, you give your opinion, man, but listen, let's put it in terms that, we understand, like, you have, those that was 1.0, whatever they're calling themselves now. I'm not over there, but you had those like your voice matters because what your track record was, like, rather than some random in the chat, like yeah, nah, yeah, you might have been there, but you didn't put no work in. Like your resume don't add up. It don't hold as much weight as somebody that's actually put in the work. And it sound like a shot at me. Jesus Christ.
Oh no, not a shot. And brother, let me pause the show because I really wanted to say, listen, all jokes.
You ain't gonna speak.
Yeah, I hear you. Definitely a shot there. Definitely some hate.
No, brother, no, they don't hate on my ear. And I wanted to say because I ain't been over there in a minute. And I ain't got no plans until the check clears. But what bothered me, this is kind of a side note. What kind of bothered me about how this thing kind of played out is I felt like, and this is just me, I felt like it discouraged people from wanting to be creators and wanting to put their voice on wax, man. That's like the part that kind of bothered me about the whole thing when I saw the Dusty Attic Dweller going at you for nothing. I was like, man, this is nasty work, man. Like, and that's the part that bothered. Like, you could talk about me all day long or whatever that is, and I don't get too worked up about it. But like, just to see, people, and publicly and privately, like, reach out, like, man, I was gonna try to do some stuff, man, and I try to be the voice of encouragement, like, yeah, man, still do your stuff, man. Don't worry about that. But
yeah. Well, see, so I understand. All right, so listen, I'm not a young guy, so yeah. I've been around the block a little bit. I'm low hanging fruit, so and there's nothing like coming after me. It's not gonna get you any. Nobody's tuning in to, you know what I'm saying? They want the big dogs. They want you. They want slander. They want, you know what I'm saying?
The triad, right?
Yeah, they want Trig coming after me like it's a flop. You can do it and you can have some fun with it. I'm not really gonna, you know, the people that know may catch a little jab, little subliminal here and there, but I'm not really gonna, you know, go that route. So I'm easy. I'm a soft target because, you know, and I get it. And I don't even listen. That I'm not doing what I'm doing because of them, because I don't really, you know, there's nobody that's gonna move me in any direction. So, but yeah, I'm low hanging fruit. It's a means. It's like, you know, when the y'all are my age, you know, when they snatch you up off the street with your little 130 pack, and they be like, okay, yeah, we good and all that, but you know, tell me about Speak, tell me about drama. Like, that's all I do. You know what I'm saying? You tell me about him, because we really don't want, we know you ain't really, you know, we know you getting your stash from them. So if you know what I'm saying, that's all that is. And I'm low hanging fruit. I don't, you know,
and I get
not
it.
going anywhere. It's really not gonna go.
No, I know you're not bothered by it, man. But for me, it bothered me because, like, you know, I know people, you know, was getting that urge. You started seeing people, you know, participate on panels and that kind of stuff, and I felt like, you know, y'all kind of shut all that down. You know, not realizing what you was doing, trying to quote unquote get the big dogs. Like, yo, we grown. Like, but you got people that, you know, that was thinking about coming outside and feel like, man, I can't do it here. Like,
no,
you know,
but there'll be nobody that's gonna keep me from doing what I'm doing. I'm not. For me, like, again, I'm not worried about anything like that. I'm to borrow a quote from Nikki, Dr. Nikki, I'm solid. I'm not worried about anything like that. And I would encourage you to just do your thing. I'm going to continue supporting the people that I support.
oh man, I'm good. Listen, I'm happy. And I've always been, you know, in a better space over here because it's a lot less noise and a lot less stress. It's just me, sports. That's it. Like, no back and forth, no community posts. This is me, sports. That's it. And it simplifies a lot of stuff. And, you know, me being away, yeah, it's been a couple times. I can be honest with you, I wanted to kind of jump in the ring to send shots back, but like nah, I can't help y'all eat, man. I can't.
But the truth is, though, like it exposed a lot. Like what they did exposed the lack of talent,
yeah,
that's around. Like you got people who have their niche, their shtick at what it is that people come to their channel for, and they don't have it. There's absolutely nothing there but the same thing they did last time. And the same thing they did 4 hours ago on the previous live. There's no, I mean, it's no variation in what's happening, and what none of them have, and that's what they expose. It's like, the talent gone. We see who was keeping the motherfucking sector popping. You know, those variations. So now that you have what you have, ain't nothing there. There's nothing to see. If you saw it last week, you're going to see the same thing this week. So, you know, when you stifle that level of creativity from everybody and like warn others not to participate, then that's how you kill a sector. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, we seen everything, guys. Y'all saying the same shit y'all was saying last month. Where's the new shit, though?
It's like they ratcheted up, like, and like I said,
what y'all got new? Like, give me, y'all doing a Symphony 2.0 or something? Like,
right?
What else is happening besides the same shit? It's like a bunch of talentless people coming together saying we got the skills.
And for the record, for the record, I'm just gonna let y'all two know, if they put that bag of Doritos and that Coca-Cola soda down in front of me at the interrogation table, I'm telling on both of y'all. I'm just gonna if they put down a Newport, if they give me the Newport, the can of Coke and the bag of Doritos, it's a wrap for. I'm telling about the blackouts. I'm telling about all that stuff. So,
Man.
hey, Tom,
man.
speaking of that, I had a little something for you, but I was gonna save it for when you show up in my chat. But let me hit you with this real quick.
Stuff like that, man. Come on, they're not even doing that.
Hold up, did you hear the whole thing? Listen to the whole thing.
Everybody hates. Yeah, I'll see you Friday. Listen, it has been, for me, it's been funny to watch. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's been pure comedy because all I can do is like shake my head, like, and how many titles you gonna put we winning? Like, yeah.
Bruh.
Yeah, I was still getting shots last night. I'm like, damn, dude, he's still mad at me. And they asked him why he was I guess Gates asked him what his problem with me is, because I think he said, because I be over here reasoning with people. I was like, you mad at me because I'm reasoning with people? I don't know what else to do after that.
Brother, it is crazy to watch. And I can honestly say this, I've reached that level of good guy status to where I can just sit in the clouds and just watch, from the balcony seat. It is like, it's kind of pitiful, man. It's kind of pitiful when you like, man, they're the talent. Okay.
Bro, when the talent, this is the funny thing. When the talent is cooking themselves and don't realize it, you be like, wait a minute. That's what y'all doing. Do y'all hear yourself talking? I just be sitting back like, you know what? Okay, the good guys said good guys win again. Y'all saying we winning. It's a difference in winning because you can still lose. I seen people that was winning by 40 and fucked around and lost by 2.
Listen,
we was collecting wins. You know what I mean? So
I'm a Giants fan. I remember Strahan pointing at the scoreboard against the 49ers, and they came back and won. And Jeremy Shockey and all of them. So yeah, I definitely know what you mean. And for me, I don't know. I not saying anything, and I only hear about it because people say something to me. Like somebody's like, yo, your ears must have been ringing, this and that. And I'm like, nah, I didn't even know the shit was going on because I'm not tuning in.
That part.
Yeah, I'm not tuning in. So it is what it is. But everybody's allowed to come when I go live, hit the panel, and if they want to have a conversation, they can. If they, maybe I'll do a smoke show where anybody that has a problem can tap in. Maybe I'll do something.
They won't do that because you much like myself, brother. You give off a certain aura to where the hollering, the screaming. They know that's not your get down.
Yeah, that's not going to be happening.
Yeah, so that kind of rules that your hitting your link ain't suitable for what I'm trying to do because I'm trying to put on a show. And Ms. Murphy, trust me, I see you. I grew tired of it fast and could take it anymore. Listen, I get it, and she's one of those people, man. I felt like could have contributed to the pot, man. But this has turned a lot of folks off to it, and I would say still do content, just don't do it over there. That's part of the motivation for me setting up the corporate space. Because can you imagine me having this over there? Oh man, look, he's got 2 people in the chat. Like, to have to hear that on a day-to-day basis, like nah, we're not doing that. we're not doing that. And the crazy part is once you kind of step outside of the space, you start to see how other people who not really active like that, how this stuff is grown. And growing and growing and growing. You're like, damn, I want to be a part of that. Right.
Yeah. So like I'm in the manosphere as well. Mm-hmm. And they have I don't know if y'all know who Anton Daniels is.
Yeah.
But he has, like, if you look at all like the offspring of him, all them people are eating. Like, he built up his platform, and then from there, you just going on his platform, it will get you your 1,000 subs and your watch hours, and all of them dudes are making money. I'm talking about, it's probably about 10 or 11 of those people who just came on his panel, and from there branched off and got their own. So I initially, when maybe like a couple of years ago, when I used to go over to Max V, I was like advocating for that. Like, you got the panel, you can branch off, and everybody can make money. And nobody, it's not that none of them guys are not, all those guys are making money. Like, you can really make something out of it. But and while you kind of doing these little beefs, it's not like you can't disagree with people, because they have the disagreements all the time. But there's a way you can do it, and everybody can eat, and everybody can make a little money. And listen, I'm a capitalist. I got, my work, my 9 to 5, my real estate, my personal investments. Why not create another stream of income? But and that's regardless of what the content is. Like, everybody can eat and make money, and you don't have to strike people's channels and all that stuff.
Man.
You can do this and have some fun. And even at the lowest level, the person with the 500 subs and the 3,000 watch hours can make a little money on the side. Like, why are we not doing that? But maybe I'm crazy about it. Or maybe I'm crazy.
Nah, it's the space. This space is, it's not something that I would want to get bread off of, because I know how you going to have to get the money. You're going to have to be the dirtiest, the wildest, and the loudest. And that's not me. Like, if I want to make bread, I'm going to take my camera to work, open up the hood of the car, and explain to you what I'm doing. And it ain't going to be no cooking, ain't going to be no roasting. It's going to be me teaching somebody how to keep money in their pocket.
Right.
Yeah.
But when you want to do it in a space like this, it's only one way to do it. You got to be the dirtiest player in the game and put everything on the line. You can't worry about nothing that you got going on outside to make money in a space like this. So a space like this is just for fun. But if you want bread, you ain't got to talk to nobody. You do an upload, and people are going to watch what it is that you're proficient at, and walk away.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, that is. I'm enjoying my pseudo retirement. Like, I'm enjoying it. Like, where you at? Like, thought y'all wanted me to shut up. You've been telling me to shut up for 2 years. Now that I'm quiet.
The funny thing about that is that, I guess the people they're not paying attention to tuning in. You've been kind of hinting at this for like the last year. Like, hey,
brother, like, you've been paying attention. I've been telling y'all. I wasn't gonna
get
tell
in the
you.
rotation. Hey, I want to see shows from you. I want to see. I'm not really, you've been saying basically, I'm not gonna be here doing what I'm doing here, at least not in this space. So it's not.
I knew it was finite.
Nothing new.
I knew it, and I understood at from the beginning it was going to be finite, man. Like, eventually this ends. Eventually you get tired of it, or eventually something happens. But I've been hinting at it for a long time. But I told you, I said, I'm not gonna make no grand announcement and set up a live stream. The Godfather's retiring. Like, I want to be that goofy. I was like, look, when it's time for me to lay it down, and okay, I'm cool with that. I'm at peace with it. Like, I may pop up, from time to time, but when you think about it, man, I was consistent for a very, very, very long time, and I think that's like the part that some people are kind of grasping with right now. Like, we so used to him giving us a response and giving us like, now you're not getting it, and now you kind of like with a chicken with your head cut off. I love it. Honestly, I'm at that. My jerseys have been in the rafters. I just been actively playing. Jerseys been in the rafters.
But again, if you just been paying attention, there's been times where people in the chat will be like, "Is this a retirement speech?" Like, so it's clear that you've been hitting at this anyway. So for anybody to be claiming like, I don't know, a victory or whatever. I mean, it is what it is. I know you don't, you say, "Hey, let
Oh
'em
no,
have it."
yeah, I
But
mean, let
for
them have
somebody,
it.
yeah, for somebody to be claiming a victory, and when you literally been hitting at this it's been over a year that I've been hearing it in your voice. Even when you started, you were kind of like, I'm doing this, and okay, this is not something I'm going to be doing forever, or not in those words, but this is, this may end next week. Who knows? Like, those are the type of things you've been saying the
But
whole
see,
time. So
yeah, because I mean, the folks that really, watch the shows and really listen to what I'm saying. I've been, like you said, I've been hinting at it. Like, yeah, I have more fun in the corporate space. Yeah, it's less people, and all of that, but I'm cool with the quality. It's always been in the corporate space, and over there, like, I've always tried to encourage people because I knew, my time was finite, but why not use the platform for that? But listen,
Yeah, but you did your thing over there Friday nights for a long time. We all knew where we was gonna be at on Friday nights, and now nobody's even who can hold the Friday night spot.
I don't know.
No,
I don't know who's
ain't
doing
nobody
it.
even trying. Like it's
you
like
don't
what,
wanna,
what,
you don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. Do you think I want to go live at 10 o'clock and have three people in the chat?
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, what's left there? The 2-point hose. Who can hold the Friday night? Like, what y'all? It's open.
I'll do anything but 10 o'clock. I'll do 9:59, 10:05, 9:45. I'll do anything but I'm not touching that. The Darth Vader's theme with the, come on, man. You not these are things that when you just kind of thinking people showing up and, oh gee, just pressing going live, and nah, there's a whole production. If you able to tie up in a bow the theme from minute 1 to minute 60 or 90, and you're able to tie up in a bow what you were talking about, or tune into next week, because Drama, he let me know he's from our age, because we had to wait till next week to see if Batman got out of the he was tied
Man,
up with the saw. We had to wait till next week. So you might not get it for 2 or 3 weeks, but to be able to do that and then hold water, because when you have this information, you can't hold water. Let's be honest, Drama. You could have took 2 weeks and threw everything you had out and just blabbed it out if you wanted to do it real quick, and it would have been like a wrap. But to be able to hold the audience and be able to hold you yourself, be like, nah, this is good, but I'm gonna wait for a month.
Well, not even that. Like, folks don't realize, like, we was getting, as active creators, man, we would get stuff, and you was like, man, like, I can't even, it's interesting to know, but I don't even feel comfortable, using this, because I know for some people it's deeper than YouTube.
Yeah.
And to have to, sit on information and still have stuff. It's whatever. But what's going on, Jerem? Listen, they got it, man. And I'm just enjoying the show because this is the best you can do. You begging for us. You're doing everything in your power to, I guess, erase them, our memory or whatever. I don't know.
Now they begging. They wanted y'all to leave. Now they begging for y'all to come back. That's what's happening. Where they at? Where they at? Why they ain't going live?
Yeah.
Where they at? Where they at? They're getting bored eating the same old spaghetti.
Like, listen, listen, and we not. I talked to the quote unquote triad. Like, we sit back and laugh, man. Like I said, I'm not feeding them, man. They gotta learn how to cook on their own. I've been taking them to the water for 2 years. Like, you gotta learn how to eat on your own. You can learn how to fish for yourself.
And it's clearly y'all that they want to have for me to have somebody come in my chat and say, yeah, I blocked you because of who you affiliated with. It's like, Take the time to tell me you blocked me because of who I'm affiliated. And I mean, listen, for the record, the only time me and Drama talk is about shows. Like it ain't never been nothing but shows and that's it. That's really all I've communicated with people. But I mean, I guess that's frowned upon. I guess you got to do your planning in front of everybody so everybody can see that and they can vet that. And it's just so goofy to me. I don't even know what to say. It's that goofy to me.
Yeah, because like I told people for a long time, like, yo, it's if I do stuff, with people for a lot of time, it's just content, man. Like sharing ideas for shows and stuff like that. Like I don't really get into the nitty gritty with everybody because everybody is not like that, and we not on that tight time. But it's a lot of things that I do and have done. But I just don't speak on because it ain't for public consumption. It ain't for everybody to know. And I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it like that. But not like I said. I'm enjoying the show or lack thereof. Listen, I ain't watching the live stream. I just look at the thumbnail. You ain't putting no effort into that. The same titles. I'm like, okay, well, this will have a short shelf. Can you make it to December with the style that you're using? Like you learn nothing from us. No production, nothing that kind of break the monotony of just somebody talking. Nothing. You learn nothing. But more power to you.
Hey man, just keep watching. I watch for about 5 minutes. As soon as I hear the same script, I'll be like, okay, I saw this last week. Let me go watch this interrogation going on. And I just dip. Like, bro, this is now I'm straight. Like I need creativity. Y'all see how I do my shit.
Yeah,
like,
I'm about to say nobody don't want that 35 minute to an hour speakeasy putting you on the slow cooker. Nobody don't want that. So they're not even trying to like really.
They tried to get Speak to respond. I was like, that ain't happening because all you doing is yapping. You got to come with some creativity for you want to get Speak to come out. So like he's killing you niggas with playing cards.
Community posts like. But that goes to the level of creativity that you gotta have. Like you gotta dig into your bag. It's not just going live and screaming and hollering for 4 hours. No, like show me something different because I get bored quick.
Yeah,
very quick. I can't do the same thing over and over again because I'm a creative person. I gotta put my hands to something else.
And y'all run me out of this motherfucker if I showed up with a dyed jet black beard, you screaming and yelling and motherfucker. Y'all be like, what the fuck is this?
What is it? Yeah, I would look at your foot. I'm like, oh, this ain't bro, man. Who is this? Like,
I can't do that. My family's watching. I can't.
My family's watching.
Yo, Max said, you an agent too. I was like, damn, yeah, I'm an agent too. Who sent you? Let me get out of here. He asked who sent me. I said, okay, my time is up over here. I can't come back over here.
Damn, hold up. Max said, who sent you?
He said all of y'all came at the same time.
Wow, who sent you?
Who sent you? I don't know none of y'all. I don't know you. Where you come from? Who sent y'all? All came from the same. Y'all came at the same time.
He said, "Who sent you?"
Yeah, Mac. Yeah, he was seeing ghosts, man. he was definitely seeing ghosts. But but to kind of bring it back home, because it's brother, I'm tired. We're gonna wrap it up, but to kind of bring it back home. That's the only part that bothered me. Say what you want to say about me and all of that stuff, man. But I think you did more damage to others than you did to me. Where they don't even want to hit panels and don't want to do content, and that's the part that bothered me more than anything else. Say what you want to say about me or what you believe to be me. fine. But yeah, you know that you killed it. You killed it.
Hey,
you
look, man.
You don't even realize it. You don't even realize it.
It's strength in being able to do what y'all doing, which is sit holding tight. Like, man, keep having fun, y'all, and see how fun it is. You know, riding the same ride over and over again. And you know that takes strength because you got to in a space like this, you got to know when to cook and when to say, "Nah, I'm gonna let them throw their whole hand out. We ain't gonna run our best plays yet. We gonna let them keep running that until we're sure that that's all they got." And then you know you smack them upside the head one good time. What? Because I know what you can do. I know your best, and if that's it. Like, wow. Well, okay. And you know, so no, man, I would say continue with the blackout and watch them burn out.
But you know that first Friday front porch, if it ever pops up, you know.
Listen,
that notification. Come on.
I got a thumbnail in mind. The day that happens, like I'm that forward thinking, like, man, if I do one, you know, I'm gonna have like, you know, the man standing there with the hoodie on, we're looking up at the jersey and the rafters, and like
You might have to play that Chicago Bulls theme that we used to play.
Y'all talking about creative and that's what I'm talking about.
I'm thinking thumbnails, I'm thinking gifts, video packages, like that's where my mind goes. It ain't just let me cut on the mic and start cussing. Like, nah.
Yeah, I know that when that notification come in, that's gonna be a Friday. That's gonna be crazy. And like right now, I'm getting because I get off at 8 a.m, so I'm not up at 12 listening to slander and then trying to get a power nap and then coming back doing the rest of my day and trying to be in tune on 10 o'clock. So this is a weird time. As crazy as that sound, you know, I'm actually getting sleep on Fridays. So
me and you both. Me and you both. Like, I ain't having to carry the show for like 2-3 hours and, you know, sit up and make appearances on other folks' panels. Like, I'm actually getting rest now, man. Like, when I'm not even participating in live, I drop down. What's going on, everybody? And like, I'm out. I'm doing other shit. You know, it's sports season. My attention is elsewhere, and that's you know that's the best thing about it, man. But you know, we're gonna continue. But listen, if I won't announce it. If it pops up, it pops up, and then I might just pop up and just not say nothing for the first 5 minutes and just be brief. You know, like like just breathe in the mic. Like I'll be like, what the fuck going on?
Like Speak said, just play that Chicago Bulls music and just sit there and just let it play for about 25 minutes to a half hour.
That's a troll move in it.
They're gonna be like, what the hell? What's going on with him? Like, it's been a long crawl out that grave.
Or you could get a couple of wigs and do performances. I'm just saying.
Oh shit.
All right, fellas, man. Any last words, man? Appreciate y'all coming up kicking with me tonight, man. It's always a blast. Always a blast, man.
Oh man, I ain't got nothing. Brother, I think we won this conversation tonight. Drama was, he had to take the opposite side for the sake of the show, but I think we proved that it's not hate. You know what I'm saying? We just defending our position from scrutiny.
You would say that on the way out the door. Listen, catch the replay. I clearly won this round. It's not debatable. You know, Speak might have won in the building, but I'm going to win on camera.
Look, we jumped you, driver. Don't even worry about it. Me and brother jumped you.
Listen, and look, you see that I got the trophies here, and I got my my linen wife beater under my my button-up shirt right here. And
Hey,
we
nah.
definitely beat you, Drama. Oh, I'm sorry, God. We beat you. Just take it out.
I know. Hey, they might have won in the building, but like Smack say, you gotta watch your back, okay?
All right, fellas, I'm about to go pick a fight with Lil Speak, and we're gonna go hate on him.
All right, yo, peace. Be
All
safe.
right, Speak.
Yeah.
All right, peace.
All right, man. Appreciate them good brothers coming up, man. As always, having fun on a Friday night, man. Kickback. Ugh, Jesus Christ. I gotta start saying it. I'm just getting tongue twisted. Kickback before kickoff. Might make this a regular rotation show, man. Friday, we kind of sit back, talk about the world of sports, social, all of that. Of course, housekeeping will be back. Of course, next week with the content, which y'all old dudes pontificate. Gator Girl, you gotta catch the replay. But yeah, appreciate everybody taking time out to listen to me, little old me tonight. As always, like, share, subscribe, leave comments. It's always appreciated. If you have any ideas, I'm always open to ideas for a possible show or a topic you want me to kind of approach. Feel free to share that. And we'll kind of go from there. Let the roaster commit. Appreciate it, Miss Berg. Appreciate it. I was on the side, but my time's freed up again. Gator Girl, come on, listen. We'll since you got so much free time, we'll pick it up. We'll pick it back up Tuesday, and you can give me all the roasting you want. Might be roasting your team if y'all follow 0-3, but I'm just saying, I got a topic. Okay, hey, let me know what it is, Gator Girl. I'll put it in the rotation, find some way to kind of format it into a show. So I'm always down to do that. But let me get my old behind out of here. Since the brother been off, I turn in early on Fridays. But it's always appreciated, man. Thank you. Hope you got something out of the conversation tonight. It was definitely some jewels dropped, hints dropped also. But anyway, let me get up out of here. As always, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but every time you learn. And I'm out.